Anthem is amazing when it works, but we're going to get into that in another video. In fact, this is not exactly how I wanted to start my channel making Anthem videos off, but I got some reassurance yesterday on Reddit that people are looking for things like this. So I wanted to make this quickly for you. I still want to bring you guys a beginner guide. I want to bring you guys my thoughts and opinions on it. Just currently, this is what I'm going to make because it's going to be a short little quick video just explaining to you guys that currently in the game right now, what is the best way to get loot? Now, a lot of people have been spending this time on the demo just grinding the Stronghold, and the Stronghold has a lot of problems with it. The fact that there's 2 time-gated events, the fact that if you put it on hard and don't have teammates to collaborate with, you might bring 2 primer abilities and just screw over the whole party and nobody's detonating anything. The boss can actually one-shot you, the big elite enemies, they can one-shot you, and you just have to be careful within that. And on top of that, the time-gated events, like I said, the second zone and also the third zone where you fight all the bugs are time gated. So no matter how good your team is, you still have to wait to complete them. And for a person who likes to run games into the ground like me, that's kind of a pain in the butt. But goofing around, playing around in free play, I found that it is definitely the better option for farming. Now, why is that? Well, let me tell you, Anthem made the decision to not make raid or stronghold specific loot. All the loot in the game is in the same pool, and its dictated drop chance is depending on what difficulty you play. So I can get the same kind of gear from free play than I can from doing the hardest of strongholds. And I think that may have been a mistake because in my research and the time I've spent with the game, I make way better bang for my buck, make way more loot drops than in free play than I do ever in a dungeon. The dungeons take, even with the best teams, 20 to 25 minutes, and I can clear the entire map of free play and do it in about 15. And you get a lot more drops that way as well. Plus, the content is easier. So if everything drops from the same pool, what is the best way to do it? Well, the last thing I'm going to talk about before we get into the video is the comment that on Reddit that I posted was a little polarizing. People said that they hate free play because they don't find anything to kill. Well, we're going to get into that a little bit, but this is going to show you the route that I take and how to activate the route, etc., etc. This is best done with a group of friends. So please keep that in mind. You can't clear these things this fast without a group of friends. So if you do have friends and you want to farm the most efficient way, then definitely stay tuned. We're going to talk about it and the path that I take to get the best gear for your time, at least that I've experienced so far. And lastly, the map, if it is all one enemy type, archetype, or the end zones that we don't have access to are still the same kind of difficulty, then this is still going to be your best bang of the buck, especially when the game comes out and you're trying to get geared. So let's jump into the map. I'm going to show you the route to take, and you guys, like me, can get 68 drops in an hour. This is the map that I used, that I mocked up for you guys real quick, just to show you the route I take. You're going to jump into your Javelin, make sure it's on hard mode, because you always want to play the hardest difficulty you possibly can. As I mentioned earlier, the loot is dictated by the difficulty, not by what you're doing, which again may have been a mistake. But you're going to load in to free play, click the bottom one, the wall as I'm going to call it, near Tarsus, and jump right in. Now, before I tell you a little bit more, remember I did say do this with friends so you can have primers and detonators and really clear this content quickly. It's not very difficult, but the enemies are kind of bullet spongy and you can kill them faster with a group of friends. Also, a thing to note is currently it looks like private isn't really private in this game. So if you can load in with 3 other friends and take up the whole server, that would be absolutely best, because Sometimes things don't spawn and you need to reset the server, but now we're talking super grindy. So let's get into the route itself. I'm going to show you guys exactly which way to go, what to expect from every area, and so on. So this is the spawn point. You jump in, you make a hard right. And now if this spawn isn't here, the first star, the first one we're going to do, let's call it 1A, is not here, then you might want to reset your server. Like I said, if you do have a full group of friends, you will load into a fresh server and these will be up. So I'm not going to clear them in this video because I'm just showing you the route, but down here there's always a public event. You can hit it. Once you're done with this one, you drop over this cliff and land below. Now here's the weird thing about events in free play. Some of them aren't actual events, but sorry guys, my previous footage with most everything, all the events up, it was a newer server, had FPS issues, and I needed to delete the footage and start again. And the server I joined was very populated rather, and everybody was doing everything. So the icons weren't popping or the enemies weren't there, but they will be if it's a fresh server. As I was saying about the events in free play, not all of them are actual events with an icon. This next area, we're going to call it 1B, is one of those. This little town, this little Asian looking village is actually a semi-event. You can kill the enemies here, and the more you kill, the more spawn, and by the third wave, fourth wave, you will get an elite enemy or 2 or 3 elite enemies that all spawn and try to take you down. Kill those for a chance for drops off the elite enemies. It's not always a chest, but sometimes you can get decent stuff from the yellow guys. This next town right here, same exact thing. We'll call this 1C. Not always or ever an event, but you can kill the enemies here until the bigger enemies spawn and you can kill them for a chance at loot. This was a gripe a lot of people had, that you basically were flying around and getting lost for no reason and you couldn't find anything. So remember to always kill everything and see if new enemies spawn. The next spot, 1C, is right here. This is how you can tell I was on a big server or a populated server, is this well was open. I don't know what to call these. I'm going to call them mini strongholds here, but in there is a Titan that drops loot as well. You have to do a little public event outside by collecting the shards. Once you get done with that one, so that's your first 3, there's 2 options you can do. The road goes west, but you can fork and split. If you go hard west, you're gonna maybe run into an encounter with the big demon dog looking things with the shield. They sometimes spawn there, but if not, you can continue to go up northwest. You can see on the map right here where I am, and there's another one that spawns here, again, just not on this map. Once you get to this spot, you're going to continue west, hard west, till you get to the little town that is, I don't know, military, like a military base, and it has a mini dungeon, a mini stronghold, and another public event. There are 2 events here. One is super high up. Not a lot of people know about it if it's not spawning, but it is above these rocks. It's in the cliffside. You're going to see me go up to it in a second. And again, turrets are broken. Very active server. Populated is not really the right word, but active server where everybody's actually doing things. And my previous footage, people were not. But this is technically 1G, and this spawns usually a downed other javelin. Usually, but not this case, like I said. The next one is, all you got to do is jump down here, and there is another mini dungeon, mini stronghold for you guys to clear. This one's actually my favorite out of all of them. This one is 2 to 3 rooms and pretty easy to do with only yellow bosses that spawn. Real easy. So you just jump in there, you clear that, and then you're basically done. There's one more on the way back, and we're going to show you that one right now. This is the last one on our route here. It's the same thing, another public event that spawns a yellow boss, and I actually caught the teammates that have been clearing the entire server finishing up this run right here. So maybe they were doing something similar to me because I felt like I was right on their heels the whole time. So we cleared him, he dropped loot, as you can see I picked it up, and that's what I mean earlier about those towns, that they don't always drop a chest. Sometimes it's just a yellow boss, a yellow bar enemy, an elite that you need to take down. You're going to jump up go over the waterfall, and you can see Tarsus in the background. That is the complete loot. The cool thing about this, though, is that when you do everything by yourself or with a group of 3, so you have the server to yourself, by the time you make it back here, that first public event 1A will most likely, not every time, but most likely will have respawned, depending on how fast you do it or how fast you don't do it. I've actually had it to where I was trying to solo things on a newer Javelin, and I was in a mini dungeon and the enemies started spawning in the first room again, and I had to clear the whole thing twice. Maybe there's something there about staying inside and just farming. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. We'll check it out later on. So that's it, guys. This video is not what I wanted to do first. 100% not what I wanted to do first, but I definitely think it's worth doing, and I wanted to get it to you guys before the demo was over. Now, like I said earlier, if the map, when the map opens up, and the outer areas that were locked during the demo are still the same kind of enemies and they don't scale up at all, there's nothing new to them, they're not harder in any aspect, this is the route I'm 100% doing when the game first comes out. I'm going to explore, check out some other stuff, but this is the route I'm doing. The amount of gear you get, me and my friends did this for an hour. I think we had to load into a server twice to get a fresh spawn, and we ended up getting 68 drops. A third of those were actually blue and useful. So that's what it is, guys. My name is Rounded Tic Tac. If you're new to the channel, we plan on covering Anthem for at least a little while. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you out. If you guys want to see us live, it's twitch.tv/RoundedTicTac. I hope to see you there. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. This video is a little rushed because I wanted to get it out before the demo was over. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Tic Tac out.